What are you saying?
No,
Okay.
Now.
No, I'm saying, okay, that thing is recording. The editor later, this one. Okay. Okay, what I'm saying, Kure, you need to deal with, you can't deal with what might happen at the expense of what has happened. Let's start there. Don't deal with what might happen when there are things that has already happened. So chances are the things that have already happened might happen again, more than what might happen, which is just what might happen. So deal with what has happened. But before you deal with what has happened, you must deal with what is happening now. Okay. But now, you deal with what is happening until you are done solving for what is happening, to a point that everything that keeps happening you have solved for when you started dealing with what is happening. So at some point you have automated anything or all the future what is happening, because it's a repetition of what you were solving for when you were solving for what is happening. So there is no what is happening that can happen that you haven't solved for already. So you can't deal with what is happening anymore. Any situation that comes, you have dealt.
Yes.
But now, after
that takes care of what might happen.
That takes care of what will happen.
Okay, what will happen?
Yeah, it takes care of what will happen. So you are dealing with what is happening, and then it's taking care of everything that is happening, because things are just happening the way that you have resolved them. So nothing that might happen is happening yet. It's just what is happening, which is what is happening. Now, fine. We're done with dealing with what is happening. Now, at the time you started dealing with what is happening, there was something that was what was happening at that time.
That you
didn't deal
with.
Because you were dealing with what is happening at that time.
Yes.
So now because you have dealt with what is happening, now you can go and deal with what was happening at the time you were dealing with what is happening. Now you are dealing with what was happening then. Then you are finished. Then you finish what was happening at the time you were dealing with what is happening. So what is happening, which is a series of what is happenings, you have dealt together with what was happening when you were dealing with the series of what is happening. You are done with what is happening and everything that's happening. You are also done with the past, which happened way before you started dealing with what is happening. You are done. Now you can now focus on what might happen and deal with what might happen. And after that, then you're out of a job. That's what I'm saying. You understand? So in my automation, I deal with what is happening now. I automate what is happening. And then what is happening should be a normal occurrence of things. If something happens that was not catered for in what is happening, then it was not happening. That's why I didn't deal with it. It was a what might, and I didn't want to deal with what might without information of what might. So what is happening then? If it so happened that the what might happens while I'm still dealing with what is happening, then it will become part of what is happening, and I will deal with it. And it's no longer a might, because it's happening at the time I'm dealing with what is happening.
So you will
if things
constantly
keep changing,
be in a
what is happening. That's if things keep changing. Then I will constantly be, which is fine, because I have to deal with what is happening. I can't let it go.
And you can't.
I can't say let me be proactive when something is happening now. I can't say Tabero is crying. I can't say no, let's go check John Paul in case he cries. But Tabero is crying now.
You deal with Tabero
now. And if I'm dealing with Tabero and John Paul starts crying, I deal with John Paul now also. Until there's no more problems there, then I can say let's deal with the past. Winnie was crying. Now let's deal with why Winnie was crying. Then we can say let's deal with you. You might cry. You see, then we have covered everything. Then everything that we know about those variables will have been covered. Stop.